Hello, this is Lee Tepley being hugged by a sea otter. Most of the time I'm behind the camera instead of in front of it. You're going to be looking at about 7 minutes of very unusual behavior filmed many years ago. So here we go.
The sea otter is pounding away at an abalone with a rock, and the idea is to break the abalone loose so it can eat it. And now it's got a bigger rock because the abalone is not breaking loose, and it makes quite a struggle trying to do this. And there's a slight slow motion effect here because I was filming at 30 frames per second. Here another scene of the rather similar occurrence, maybe a different otter, and this one doesn't have a rock, but it's kind of struggling, trying to see if it can get the abalone to come off. And and here it's kind of thrashing with its paws. And this was taken, oh, now it's got a very small rock struggling away. This was taken fairly late in the afternoon with lights, underwater lights, down about 25 feet. And this particular otter gives up. Now, some of these otters are very young, and they've probably never actually seen an abalone before. It's kind of an instinctive behavior. Here it's thrashing away again, and more of this thrashing away. Otters had cleaned out the abalones in this area years before I did this filming, which was quite a few years ago. And so we had to bring abalone down from other areas where there were no otters and plant them. So the abalone thing is a new experience to this otters. They love abalone. They've never seen it before, and it's struggling to try to get it off. And the last scene and this scene were done in speed up. The original filming was at 30 frames per second. It gave a slight slow motion effect, so I did a speed up on some of this to get a little faster action. It's actually somewhat faster than it's really happening, but the otters really are thrashing away and struggling in the water. And this may be a repeat, probably is a repeat of one of the earlier scenes, but done with a speed up effect. And this scene is also the speed up effect. And this otter is really banging away very hard, and it's got a rock. I think most of the time it's got a rock that the abalone is not about to come off. Did a lot of filming here. Some of this was done for the State Department of Fish and Game. It's got a bigger rock there, and they were particularly interested in getting shots of otters breaking abalone loose. This was an experiment here where we planted a mirror. This is also a speed up, and we put a mirror on the bottom, put abalone on top of the mirror, and want to see the otter's reaction. The otter cannot get the abalone off the mirror. Instead, it just pushes it around the mirror. It's kind of like underwater type ice hockey, and it doesn't notice its image in the mirror until later on. So it continues struggling here for quite a while, and the abalone goes back and forth on the mirror. When the otter finally does see its image, here it takes off for a while, comes back with what I think is a clamshell. Don't see that yet. And here it takes off, comes back with what looks like a clam, and it's maybe a rock. It looks like a clam banging away with the abalone. Could have broken the mirror, but it did not. And then that doesn't work, so it pushes it around some more. Eventually it will see its image in the mirror, and that may have happened right about there. I think it looks at its image, and that's when I think it got scared. And all this is with a slight speed up factor. Now here we're down to normal speed. Well, almost got a sea urchin next to abalone. They like sea urchins maybe better than anything else, and sea urchins were not very common either. We ended up bringing them down from another area. It's banging away with a rock on the sea urchin, and it's doing that underwater so it can start eating even before it gets up to surface. Kind of an unusual shot. Wasn't bothered by my underwater lights at all. And so these are normal speed shots. Well, a slight slow motion. The diver here has a squid. We bought these squid in the fish market nearby, and it's got a whole bag of squid, and the otter would like to get the entire bag. He's really goes for squid in a very big way, and it's taking it right out of the diver's hand. The otters have very sharp teeth. It's probably a rather dangerous thing to do. Here the diver's teasing the otter a little bit here. Eventually lets go. Well, I think he lets go eventually. Shot at 30 frames a second, so a slight slow motion effect. Now this is me getting a close-up shot of the otter taking a squid right out of my bare hands, and here the otter is getting more squid out of my hands. I'm putting my hands in front of the camera. Initially I tried wearing gloves. When I wore gloves, the otter bit me. Took off the gloves. He was much more sensitive and avoided biting my fingers, which was kind of very nice of it. Here it's really holding onto my hand, and eventually I let go of the squid. Here we're back to abalone again. But these are no longer at the speed up, and that abalone came loose fairly easily without even a rock. And again, we had planted all these abalone. They come down from either Santa Cruz or sometimes as far north as Fort Bragg. And again, the otters have never seen before. Now this is a really oddball sequence where that's me, and a friend of mine is holding my camera. It's got lights on it too, and I'm holding squid in my mouth, and the otters are taking the squid out of my mouth. It's kind of a cute series. And we went through quite a few squid here, and here this is, I think, one of the cuter sequences. I took my mask off that time. And it's kind of a cute sequence here, close up here. Kind of like the otter is kissing me. He's really going after the squid. And that's when I got bit. And this is a shot of me up in a boat, and you can see blood is coming down. I look kind of dumb there. It looks like I only have one tooth. I really have lots of teeth. But anyhow, this is a shot of the blood driven. I went to the Monterey Hospital the first time a doctor had ever had an incident where anyone was bit by a sea otter. And here we're seeing, this is a closing scene of maybe the same little sea otter you saw earlier on. And they're really cute, but they do bite, and you don't want to do this anymore. You'll get in trouble with the government. That's the end of the clip. Thank you.